Alright, it's only me. I've come on the day we're going to talk about the Hawkwind track Robot that I recorded. When was that now? Probably around about the start of April. This was one of the first, when I actually started recording songs again, it wasn't with any particular project in mind. And I just wanted to get back into it after doing all the bass tracks for about a year and a bit. With anything you do, you get a bit bored with it, and I had done probably about 90 or something cover songs, and then I'd recorded my own couple of albums on there. So that's an ambulance, it's no the police coming for me. I just got a bit tired with recording stuff, so I gave myself a break for a while. But then, like anything, you forget. When you're doing things all the time and then you stop doing them, all of a sudden you do forget what you're doing a wee bit. So this was just one of them ones where you hear something and you think, oh, I wonder if I could manage to put that together with 8 tracks. So that's what I did with Robot. It wasn't necessarily going to be the song Robot. There were a couple of Robert Calvert era Hawkwind tracks that I was thinking about, High Rise, Uncle Sam's on Mars, quite a lot of, but it's just settled on Robot because it's such an interesting track, and what I wanted to do was make it a bit more heavy metal than the Hawkwind version. So let's have a playthrough here what we've got on the tapes. What we've got on track 1 is just the guitar track. Track 2 is a keyboard track. I had about 4 keyboard tracks on this at points. Track 3 is the bass, track 4 is the drums. Track 5's lead vocals. Track 6 is a keyboard track. Track 7 is the background vocals with, I think it's got the wee fluty keyboard bit on it that comes in during the guitar solo bits. And track 8 is also a keyboard track. So let's have a play through the tape and see what's on there. I did make the guitar pretty heavy metal-y. Aye, there we go. But that riff, usual Dave Brock kind, using like 1.5 notes as I was caught, or 2.5 notes. Just pull the guitar out of there. Then we've got all these keyboard things happening.
9 to 5 or 10 to 6.
And there's the vocals
Up to
here.
the city and back to the sticks. You've got to unwind your mind. You've got to
That's just the bass and the
unwind your
drums.
mind. Sit back, twitch on your boots. It's got a twitch on your boots. It's on
That's what it sounds like. It's Black Sabbath. The backing vocals coming in here really high.
You're so well disguised. Robot, robot. Robot, robot.
Yeah, I had to,
You're warm when it's cold.
I had to breathe deep in
when
that
it's
one, but
hot.
the vocal arrangement there is pretty good.
Robot.
It's like
Your
the
life is recorded
two
on
vocals
a
keep swapping places, if you like.
Robot, robot. You'd hold the whole world in your metal claws if it wasn't for the 3 laws of robotics.
See, that's the V drums there. And I was going for that kind of Motorix kind of thing where there's not really that much happening. And it's like you try to keep the pot boiling but don't let it get like a simmering pot. You don't want it to boil. You just want to keep it there. And the bass just sitting in there, playing along. Middle section here, where we're being Hawkwind, there's no guitar solo. This is quite interesting, this bit where I had to do this.
Only a robot.
And that sounds like it's got an effect on it a bit, doesn't it? It's actually me.
I cannot harm you. I can only obey the three laws.
Is that being slow the keyboard on there in track 7? Then coming back into the riff here. I'll pretty much stop it there, but I wanted to keep that because the rest of it's just that pattern keeps going, and then the last minute of it is just you building up with that ROBOT robot thing at the end. The thing with the keyboards was I want to keep it in there just with the keyboard hum going all the way through it, so it feels like there's something alive, if you know what I mean. I was quite happy with the way it turned out. Well, we'll play through it and we'll see what exactly is in this song, music-wise, which is all based around about this riff, which is an A, which I started off with this. Then up to B. It's just that figure repeated off, and then when you come to that bit in the middle where there's a talking there, you just stay on the A and you're just doing this. So like in Hawkwind, it's not so much about the virtuosity, the guitar solos or whatever, and with Hawkwind it's all about the sound of the whole thing just sounds like a big musical, I don't know, mishmash where you can hear umpteen happens. There's always the whoosh happening, the keyboards, all that kind of stuff. Robert Calvert's pretty clever lyrics. So, well, if I play through it, I'm glad we drink a tea first, because it is absolutely flipping boiling outside. And I've been sitting driving about in my wee iron coffin, jumping in and out it. So I'll turn the guitar off once we get into when I hear the thing coming in. Robot. that was how I ended it. So anyway, that's how you play Robot by Hawkwind. Good fun song. Pretty good. Years ahead of its time actually. When you think about 1970... 77, 78, Robert Calvert talking about robots. The lyrics could be just as easily about artificial intelligence. So that's another one done. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later on. Ta-ta.